Okay, welcome back to the channel. Connect. Pay it. Connect to the desktop, please. I hope everybody's having a great Wednesday afternoon. I know I've had a pretty productive Wednesday. It's been kind of nice. I actually have about half of the Regency Romance Cyborgs ready to go already for this weekend, and that is a nice place to be ahead of the curve. I always feel good when I've got work done in advance. All right, so what are we doing today? Today, we are going to continue our work from Monday, and we're going to figure out exactly what characters we are going to be making for our October theme. I have done a little tiny bit of work going into this, so I know what days we need our characters for, and a couple of things that might come up around those days. So we might be able to brainstorm a little bit of stuff that way. Or we might just wing it and see how things go. The big question on my mind for the October theme, as it has been picked, is do we want to embrace the historical context that certain monsters are related to certain types of neurodivergence or certain types of mental illness, or do we want to steer around it entirely? Those are both, I think, valid ways of looking at these characters. So I don't feel like either one would necessarily be the wrongest thing to pick, but I want to kind of feel out how that goes. I have done a little tiny bit of research into that topic, and not just like the easy ones. I haven't done, so I'm not none of this is my own original analysis allegory kind of stuff. This is stuff that I went and looked up, like classic monsters related to mental illness kind of things, and have put together a bit of a list that way of what's going on there. So like I said, we can either embrace that fully or outright just actively try to ignore all of that. So just like real quick, I'll just list out those ones that I have done the research on, put those out there so that anybody who comes in can see it up on the screen and know exactly what research has been done already. So when it comes to classic monsters and like literary interpretations of what they represent as far as mental illness goes, of course, you have Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde representing bipolar disorder and dissociative identity disorder. And I think those are like, just got here. Was Advocates the winner? Yes, by a significant margin. It was definitely the pull ahead favorite from the beginning and never really got past. Although the general consensus is that everyone wants to see all of the sticker sets. So I have to get off my duff and just knock out extra sticker sets for the month of October is really what it's going to come down to, I think. But I spent today, while I was cutting stickers for this weekend, I spent today doing some research and putting together. If anyone wants the exact numbers, we had 8 total votes on Patreon or on YouTube and 1 vote for each on Patreon. So we're not going to count those. They cancel each other out. It looks like we got 4 votes for monsters acting as advocates and 2 votes each for candy people in costumes and spooky bars. Awesome. So I think what that means is that we're going to do Monstrous Advocates as our October theme, and then I'm just going to have to draw some candy monsters and some spooky barras also and get those out there. I actually wasn't entirely sure which one we were going to end up doing. I was kind of leaning away from spooky barras because I feel like we've just done that with cats and dogs and we'd just be doing the same thing over again. But I had this idea of Revenge of the Smorlock and having our candy monsters be like D&D monsters, and that might still happen. So just going into, basically I spent today researching, so I'm just sharing my research. According to a website that I found, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde are the most obvious, which are dissociative identity disorder, bipolar disorder, and they say a lot of also just general masking that neurodivergent people have to experience, or a lot of neurodivergent people experience. The Invisible Man, which I'm not going to write down because I can't really draw him. I mean, I guess I could draw floating clothes and stuff. People have drawn invisible characters, but the Invisible Man represents isolation and alienation, and can often be associated with, is often associated with social anxiety and may be associated with autism. The Wolfman also comes with a side of bipolar disorder and anger management issues. The Mummy comes from the past haunting you and can represent PTSD. The Phantom of the Opera represents societal rejection and physical disfiguration. The Creature from the Black Lagoon is often associated with fear of being misunderstood, which also, I guess, applies to the wolf or Frankenstein's monster. Zombies are often associated with the concept of depression and the concept of conformity and being forced to conform. Vampires are often associated with addiction, obsession, and unhealthy coping mechanisms. And the Banshee represents uncontrollable outbursts of emotion. And then, because specifically it is National ADHD Awareness Month, I went in search of characters in fiction, monsters in fiction, that have been associated with having ADHD. And so the Mad Hatter from Alice in Wonderland is considered to be a quote unquote monster associated with ADHD and erratic behavior. Gremlins are often associated as being unpredictable, impulsive, and chaotic. The various trickster gods in general are often associated with how a lot of people perceive ADHD. And though he is not a classic horror monster, the Tasmanian Devil came up on the list as a character that is basically the personification of the stereotypes of ADHD. And I always pointed out that the awesome 90s cartoon Down in Tasmania about the Tasmanian Devil's family points out that Taz is not a dumb, chaotic monster. He is a person with ADHD, and his family is often abusive towards him because of it. So, really, I just did that research, not even knowing if it would come into play today. Like I said, I thought it might be, there's really two ways to handle it. We could either embrace the identity of monsters as representations of mental health and neurodivergence, or we could just completely ignore it outright entirely, or even actively shy away from it. So I didn't know what the route anybody would want to go would be. I do know that this is just a thing that I happen to know. I'm going to pull open my picture and add an image. So around this time last year, I decided to make some mental health advocacy stickers based on the color schemes from the Heart program. Or what's the term I'm looking for here? The Heart Project. And they are color coded based on the type of mental health disorder it might be. So these are kind of colors based on general groupings. So the emotional regulation disorders are green. The like compulsive behavior, anxiety disorders are teal. And the neurological, what we might call, I'm not sure what the exact term it is, but it's schizophrenia and borderline personality disorder are silver. And then on here also, I had supporters are red, suicide survivors are yellow, and self-harm survivors are orange. So those are like official advocacy colors. But the general advocacy color for mental health awareness is green, which works for me. I did not look up what the official color for ADHD awareness is. Is orange. Okay, that makes sense. So we can work that in there. I think because it's National ADHD Awareness Month, basically we could have anything going on throughout the month that would represent that. Some other things going on in October that are kind of related. It is also Talk About Prescriptions Month. I thought would be something we might want to work into the theme. And specifically, the first week of October is National Mental Health Awareness Week, and October 10th is World Mental Health Day. So I thought those would be things we'd want to work into this. So I think I'm going to start here. These are the Saturdays of the month. So that's kind of why I have them written down. I want to start, I think, by brainstorming monsters. I want to put together a list of monsters that we might be able to turn into stickers. And then maybe we'll associate them with some things, like we'll pick some monsters and then we'll pick some tropes for advocacy representation that we want to use. And then we'll just kind of mix and match. How's that sound? As a way to get started. Monsters are kind of somewhat easy because we can always start with the basics: vampire, mummy, zombie, ghost, werewolf. I think those are like the big five, right? I have a monster manual probably within arm's reach. What if I did a search for public domain monsters? There's hundreds of them. So we can come in here. Some of these are technically monsters, but I don't know if they necessarily fit with what we're looking for, because like dragon is a monster, but not a Halloween monster. Medusa. Medusa could be a Halloween monster. Centaur, hippogriff. Ghouls. Ghouls are Halloween monsters. Leprechaun is not Halloweeny, although leprechauns wear a lot of green, so mental health advocates there. The echidna, half snake and half woman, referred to as the mother of monsters. Oh, yeah, okay. Adlet, There's a lot of Greek mythology on this list. I recognize this list. This is the 100 Monster Challenge list. I've done that challenge. So if I come back and let's do classic. This is your Halloween monsters. 50 Halloween monsters and their origins. That sounds like a fun little thing to look at. Vampire, werewolf, zombie, ghost, witch, Frankenstein's monster. Banshee. What is Banshee on this? Banshees are not really associated with Halloween in at least not in the United States. I could be wrong about a lot of, that could be something that maybe in Celtic countries they are more associated. The Headless Horseman. Let's see what else I got. Grim Reaper. Generic demons. Generic goblins. Is a jack-o'-lantern a monster? I don't think they do. I don't think they count as a monster. I'm not sure a poltergeist is any different than a ghost for our purposes. I mean, if you're talking about purely about hauntings and paranormal investigations, ghosts haunt locations and poltergeists haunt people. Spiders. Black cats. Bats. Cthulhu. Phantoms. Again, phantom is just a ghost. Wraith, just a ghost for our purposes. Scarecrow. Chupa thingy. All right. Gargoyle. Boogeyman. Doolahans. Doolahans are just headless horsemen. The Doolahan is literally a single creature that is just a headless creature. It's basically the headless horseman. Slender Man is on this list. The Jersey Devil. Moth, we're into cryptids now. Freddy Krueger, that's Jason Voorhees. Michael Myers. Only one of these slasher monsters is really associated with Halloween. So we got a pretty good list here, I think. I'm just scanning down through to see if there's anything on this list that's not. No. Okay. I feel like I've got a good list going on here. So here's a list of monsters. And I personally have some favorites of what I like to draw. So let's see. I should probably eliminate the ones that I draw on a regular basis. That's probably the safest course of action. So like I draw zombies all the time. Literally every day for the last year I've drawn a zombie. I like to draw goblins. Ooh, someone's in the freezer. Let's see. I'm going to put a little partial mark next to the ones that we made into Halloween hounds or costumed kittens. Just kind of although our costumed kittens ended up with a lot more cute costumes than the Halloween hounds did. I don't have them laminated yet, but I did get them printed off today. Yeah. So those are coming down the line. I just did a Slender Man for Christmas. Let's see. I like werewolf. I think I'll put werewolf on my short list. I like the idea of Grim Reaper being an advocate. I'm gonna put Grim Reaper on the short list. Spiders are a thing that, like, no matter how cute you make them, someone can still get seriously triggered by arachnophobia from them. It just comes up. Scarecrow could be fun. I'm gonna put demons and goblins together on the list because I feel when it comes to Halloween, they're kind of like spooky, doopy dudes with horns and big ears and big noses. Let's see. So we got 3. We need 2 more. Let's go ahead and pick Scarecrow. I think Scarecrow gets underplayed a lot, but is a great character as far as like Halloween representation is. And I'm closing my eyes and randomly picking ghoul bats. I don't know. I don't actually like ghouls or bats as far as like this particular project goes. Or black cats. I'm going to eliminate those guys. I think I might actually go with Frankenstein's monster here. So those are my 5 creature categories I'm going to go with. And I will just rewrite that list over here. So we've got werewolf, Frankenstein. And I know I just did a Frankenstein puppy, but it was fun and I want to do it again. Grim Reaper. Demo Dev Goblin. And Scarecrow. All right, so and now I guess we could probably just assign these to a day of the week, the month. And just do it that way. So let's go with the Grim Reaper is definitely the most powerful spirit thingy here. So I think I'm going to make the Grim Reaper the bonus sticker for the month. I think that'll be the easiest way to do that. And then just assign the rest of these guys kind of at random here. So we'll oops, go in a race. Transform. We'll bring this Demo Devil Gobbo guy over here. And let's see, let's go Scarecrow to here. And werewolf down here, which leaves Frankenstein's monster right in the middle of the month. All right. So that does not answer the question yet of exactly how we're going to combine these into advocacy characters, what that kind of means, what that looks like. And as I'm looking at this, I kind of have some ideas of like if we embrace things that are known about scarecrows, like literally, here's this is kind of what I'm thinking here. I come over here to Frankenstein's monster, and I'm like, my abnormal brain doesn't make me a monster. Ooh, actually, yeah. So here's I just came up with the print concept, I think. My idea, like I was calling this monstrous advocacy. But how about monstrous support? And they're members of a support group. What does that sound like? How people feel about that? How's that concept coming along for you guys? And then maybe each one could advocate for a different, like, don't judge me based on this stereotype about a condition I have. I'm still a dude or a person, or like, don't judge, like Frankenstein might not be, Frankenstein's monster might be saying, not be saying, my abnormal brain doesn't make me a monster, maybe saying your abnormal brain doesn't make you a monster. Yeah. This is a little bit more of a rough concept, a little more open-ended than a lot of the stuff I've done in the past. So it can be kind of fun doing it this way. If I come back and look back at that list of like recognition of what the Wolfman shows bipolar disorder. Yeah, I like this idea of these being members of a support group, and we take the like things that they're associated with, and we bring them back together, and we're like, you're more than these things because you're an awesome monster creature. So I think that's where the fun might come into this. So like let's see, where was my list of stuff I had? We know that goblins represented some, like, the gremlins. We turned these guys from just goblins into specifically gremlins. Chaos. Dealing with the chaos inside themselves. Excited to see what you've worked out. That's okay. So I'll just go through what I've got so far. What I think I've come up with is the concept is that these are members of a support group that is supporting each other based on the ways that they are often misunderstood as characters that represent or have a mental illness. So I think the ones I've chosen are going to be a scarecrow, a gremlin, a Frankenstein's monster, werewolf, and the Grim Reaper. With the Grim Reaper kind of serving probably a little bit of the like role of being the facilitator of the support group. But the thing that triggered it for me, or clicked it into place for me, was this idea of Frankenstein's monster basically being like, your abnormal brain doesn't make you a monster. You know, I don't know if the abnormal brain thing is actually part of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, or if that's just stuck in my head because of Mel Brooks. Either way, I think it works for me. So, let's see. Werewolves represent bipolar disorder. Mood swings. So let me throw this out there. We have Self-Help Werewolf coming up at the end of September. Is 2 werewolves in 2 months too many werewolves in a short period of time? I don't feel like it is, but some people might think that's too many werewolves in too short a period of time. I personally feel like there's no such thing as too many werewolves, but we'll see. Um, let's see. I'm gonna do a little research here on scarecrows and their symbology. Um, Scarecrows represent protection and fear. That makes sense. They are things that scare away crows and protect fields. So maybe the scarecrow has anxiety. Maybe he's an anxious scarecrow. Could be fun. Could be a fun character to have on the list. What does the Grim Reaper represent? Let's do a little research there. I know what the Death card in tarot represents. I think it will depend on how he's drawn and dressed, maybe. Yeah, this is going to be definitely more like actual werewolf than Self-Help Werewolf is. Here is an awesome point that I think ties the whole idea of this like being a support group together. In addition to just like the concept of death, the Grim Reaper is often used to symbolize acceptance and release. So like I like that as like someone who's like, you know, accept that this is a part of you, but not all of you kind of messaging. Oh, that's one big batch of brainstorming there. I am not, you know me, I won't be fully committed to any of this until it's drawn, and then it'll be too late to change. So I'm really like, what is the big goal here? I like the concept. I really like this concept. I think I'm facing a little bit of imposter syndrome, and my subconscious, my jerk brain, is telling me that I am not up to this task, but I know that I will have fun doing it. So that's kind of where my head is at. If anyone's wondering how this brainstorming is going for me, I like this concept though. I like the idea of like a scarecrow with anxiety and like a gremlin that is dealing with their ADHD. I was thinking tarot a bit too, and how it represents a big change or shift sometimes. Yes, that's kind of in my head. I was like, there's that was kind of floating in the back of my head, the idea of death representing change. Will there be text with on all of them? There very well could be. That definitely could be a way to go. I don't mind putting text on a sticker. Sometimes a sticker needs text to get its message across. I am an illustrator who is only like just now starting to practice more. What's the word I'm looking for here? Hand drawn lettering. So I haven't been putting a lot of text on things because I'm still very new at that skill, but I also have access to a repository of literally millions of fonts. So there's always a possibility of adding text. I think sometimes text just adds something to it. Sometimes it doesn't. I think in this situation, text isn't necessarily a bad idea. Giving each of them their own statement or saying isn't a bad idea. Especially if I can tie that statement back to like the thing they represent and how it turn it into an advocacy point. Uh, now that I'm thinking about it, the stickers I actually have they were sitting right here on my desk. I have my big box of stickers because I was doing inventory. And most of the stickers I have that have text on them are mental health advocacy text. Do the different conditions have designated colors like other advocated causes? Yes, they do. Sometimes they have more than one. That was actually the thing I brought up is there is something called the Heart Project that color coded different, not necessarily individual conditions, but they have color coding for classifications of conditions like anxiety disorders or emotional regulation disorders. I also looked up the ADHD's official advocacy color is orange, and that the overall mental health advocacy color is green. Just the generic mental health advocacy color is green itself. So I pulled those up. Also, these stickers, these are ones I designed. They're on my Etsy shop because I haven't taken them down yet. I haven't made any of these in a long time, and I'd like to redo them and make them a little more cartoony and in my style, I think. Then clip arty. I'm pretty sure I used like a pumpkin. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I used some stock clip art pieces to put those stickers together when I did back in the day. So yeah, I definitely have a lot of stickers with text on them. So we can put text on them. I think that is probably the way to go. Like give them each their own little statement. And I liked the September print that I put together for the library. It has like magic lives in the library or a dark magic. Yes, they're from Etsy. I don't have any in person because, like I said, I keep meaning to redesign them with my own illustration, and I haven't done it yet. I liked having that like kind of message on the poster about join your local library, get a library card. So I'd like to do the same thing, I think, with the overall print for this month and have it with this monstrous support kind of messaging. I don't know exactly what that would be yet. This is the type of thing that I spend a lot of time working through and refining off stream, is those kind of weird jokes and things. As a writer, I have weird kind of like feel weird writing on camera. Oh, yes, without that's kind of, I think the goal might be to do that. Like try to have the characters represent like with expression and color and behavior. That would be the primary goal, I think. The other piece of it, like the reason I was like text is definitely a possibility, is I also don't want to over stereotype things. Although sometimes that is kind of like what makes us feel seen is like here I can't speak for anyone else. I can only speak for myself. But a lot of the times when I feel like a piece of art properly represents the chaos in my head caused by bipolar disorder, it is really showing the like surface level stuff. But at the same time, like the fact that someone sees that at all and recognizes it as a thing makes me feel better. I don't, it's weird. It's a weird thing. It's a weird world we live in. It's hard to walk that line, I think. But my general idea would be like, part of my general actual personal philosophy is we all have our crap. We all have our baggage. that we have to carry, and we might as well pile it up onto one big trailer and haul it all together. You know what I mean? So something along those lines, like monstrous support, like be a monstrous advocate, that sort of thing. Okay, I would love to hear any other ideas because, like I said, I'm feeling a little bit like I'm floundering on this one. It's a really great concept that I don't want to screw up, and I might be hyping myself a little too much. You know what I mean? I'm going to take off my hoodie because it's starting to get a little warm in here without the air conditioner on. I mean, it's warm in here all the time. I just like to wear my hoodie during the stream because it's like my security blanket. You know, just sharing that. Just sharing that aspect of my own weirdness. Hoodies make me feel more emotionally comfortable. It's why I wear a hoodie or a vest most of the time. I'm also definitely not 100% sold on any, like, not sold. I'm not set in stone on any of these monsters either, but I do think I can work with what I have here and put together some really cool sticker ideas, I think. While you're typing, probably on your phone, I am gonna doodle because this is an art stream and people come to see doodling. So I'm gonna doodle some doodling. Let's doodle the doodles. See, if I'm a scarecrow and I want to look anxious, then I might have some eyes like this. Little button nose, maybe. Oh, well, corn stalk hair. And of course, a little hat. Little scarecrow hat. Just hanging out. Each statement is a line to a poem, something that can represent each individually, but when you collect them, it feels like a bigger statement, and the poem can be one on the full print. I really like that idea, especially because as I was like looking up any other stuff in October that we might want to work into the theme, I saw that one of the days in October is also National Random Act of Poetry Day. So I really like that idea, but that means I have to write a poem. I really like that idea, and I'm not afraid to write a poem. I definitely will work on one. Like I said, I don't mind. I like writing. I've been looking for more excuses to do some writing, but I probably will do all of that off stream. Yeah, I think it was October 11th, maybe. Random Acts of Poetry Day. I can try to brainstorm it to help. I appreciate that. I think the poem idea is a good idea. And what's great about that is that the first Wednesday in October every year, so it's not the 11th because the 11th is a Friday. So literally the 2nd of October is Random Acts of Poetry Day. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. I really love the concept of a poem. Also because, like, Okay, it can be something clever and also a way to encourage collecting all of the items. Yes. Here is what, like, the direction that my brain starts going automatically there is a Shel Silverstein poem that is one of my favorite Shel Silverstein poems is I think, what is it? It's actually called Magic. Yes. So the poem is called Magic by Shel Silverstein. It's one of my favorite uh little short poems, and I love Shel Silverstein. The poem is: Sandra's seen a leprechaun, Eddie touched a troll, Lori danced with witches once, Charlie found some goblin's gold, Donald heard a mermaid sing, Susie spied an elf, but all the magic I have known I've had to make myself. It's just something I've always loved, that poem. The Giving Tree, where the sidewalk ends. Shel Silverstein is where the sidewalk ends. Light in the Attic. Is Giving Tree Shel Silverstein? Yes. Yes, The Giving Tree is also by Shel Silverstein. Yes. Never thought of it in that context. I never thought of The Giving Tree as being Shel Silverstein. But once you asked that, I was like, the art matches up. I always thought of Shel Silverstein as like they're a collection of poetry books for kids, elementary school kids, and I loved them when I was in elementary school. But this particular poem, the reason I this, like, my brain goes here is because each line of this poem represents a different magical creature in some sort of association. So, like, I think that could be a way, like, I like that concept of, like, Eddie always worries much, or, something along those lines. I'll have to figure out exactly how the scheme would go, but that would be the idea. Would be like each line would be one of these characters, like Scarecrow. Scarecrow has to face his fears. Gremlins lose control. Yeah, yeah. So that they'd be able to stand alone but turn into the full poem. I love the concept. I think it's an absolutely brilliant idea. Um, and I think I'm up to it. I think my brain is like crunching. You clicked me. You got me. My brain is crunching all of this stuff together now and starting to work and grind. Um, Scarecrow has to conquer fear. Gremlin and learn control. I don't know exactly how I'm gonna put Frankenstein's monster into this rhyme scheme yet. Probably pour some time into this. So excited. Yes. um ah I can't go. Oh, I want to sit here and grind my brain on this because it is what I do. But I also think if I start doing that, I'm going to not talk and it won't be a very entertaining stream. Uh, but I think for Frankenstein's monster, I might actually refer to him as Frankie in the thing to just have a 2-syllable name, because it looks like I could probably do this with a 2-1-1-2. It's like two 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 kind of rhyme scheme. Um, and I probably will work backwards from the last line with the Grim Reaper. just start a list. Yeah, I think this could be a lot of fun. I think what I will probably start doing now, because we've got 45 minutes or so, about 45 minutes left of this stream, I might actually just start drawing Anxious Scarecrow. And we could put the first line with him. Like the poetry lines can be added to the stickers after the character art is done also. Yeah, that's what I probably is how I will end up working on it. But for now, let's sketch a scarecrow, an anxious scarecrow. Although that other little real quick doodle sketch that I had there, I kind of liked it. I'm going to pull up a couple of reference images. I'm going to pull up anxious face and scarecrow. Do people eat their hands when they get anxious? I just feel like my stomach is being ripped out. Yeah. Yep. I think it's going to work great. I think it's going to be awesome. Okay. So let's just start. What type of, okay, so here's the question, the $64 million question for this stage. Do we want the individual stickers to just be the character representation, or do we want the sticker to be the character in the scene? So my last 2 months, actually all 3 months in a row, the last 3 months have all been thematically connected sticker sets. And I have done a print with those same characters on them, but the print has just been a scene with those characters where the sticker is a like representation of just that one character. So like the Cookout Crusaders on the print are not in the same positions, same stance. They're actually seen from behind in the print. The Eldritch Breakfast Club is all gathered together like the Breakfast Club on the original movie poster. For that print, the library print has them all like hanging out around the big magical book and the huge portal in the background. So if we do a like support room theme thing here, you know, do we want them to all be in that, or do we want them to be kind of living their best monster lives? I think I'm going to go with, you know what, also this is kind of new to me, but I think for these stickers, instead of doing, I'm just throwing this out there, so feel free to come back and be like, no, that's horrible, don't do that. For these stickers, instead of doing full body illustrations with lower level details, I think what I would like to do is maybe like a bust that I can do more detail work on and put their line underneath of them on the sticker. It'll ruin my brain. Yeah, I know how you feel. I'm supposed to play Dungeons and Dragons tonight. I'm about this all night long. Oh no. Oh, okay, I'm back. Oh, my internet connection just completely disappeared for a second and then just popped right back up. So I was like, oh no. Yeah, I think it would be too. I think also be a little bit more fun to do a lot more detail in the illustration. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to work on. Let's do it. Let's do Scarecrow with anxiety. So I think I'm going to start first and foremost I'm going to build a template here that will house all of the spacing for all of these characters. I don't know if chat heard what I was saying about how I size my stickers. Is that I start with when I draw them, I do like an 8K image size. This image is 8192 by 8192 pixels. But this will get shrunk down and fit inside of a 3-inch square, and that's what determines the size of a sticker when I print them. So the more like I space it out to fit into a square shape, the larger the sticker itself actually will end up being. So that's a little benefit bonus of doing it this way. So this is what I'm going to do here is I'm going to call this my template area. So all of this down here will be where the line for the poem goes. So we'll have like a little batch area off the bottom, and all of these stickers I'll draw in the same file will fit into this area up here with this down underneath, like white fadey kind of lining. I might go off vector for this and use some actual roster brushes with some grit and some grain and some roughness to them. I think I might do something wacky and grow as an artist. So what that means is I'm going to start here, and I'm going to do the neck, I think. Oops. I'm going to be on this layer. Lock in that neck like that. We'll come down here. And I think I'm actually going to have something like this as the head shape here. I'm just doing some rough composition. You rebel. Awesome. Have a safe drive home. And then like up here, like sagged shoulders. Like that. Looking at my anxiety reference. So this would be face line across here, like this. Like that. Bring the hands back up onto the face. Like this. And this whole thing could actually be bigger because the whole point is I'm trying to use more space on the sticker. So we'll do kind of like that. And now I'm just going to downsize this. And we'll start working a little bit of detailing here in my anxious scarecrow face going on. So I'm going to come in and it's crazy to me. I don't know. Like, I think in my head, the first thing I think of in my head when I think of scarecrow is like Melonhead from Howl's Moving Castle kind of scenario. Oh, in fact, I scrolled down here and under Build a Scarecrow Day, it totally has Melonhead. But so many of these scarecrows having that stitched in triangular nose. So we'll start with that. Just sketch in a little triangle and some stitching line around it because it's stitched on. Like this. And I'm just adding little rectangles to the outside because that represents stitching in my world. And And then I think I want to give it a pretty hardcore anxiety face that is also stitched on. So something like this. Maybe like that. And then we'll do eyebrows coming across like this. What do scarecrows have for eyes? They just have painted on eyes. Some of them do. They have button eyes. Some of them have button eyes. I'm gonna give them button eyes. Button eyes. So just little circle button eyes. I also like that with just a one line eyebrow and circular eyes, you can really already start to feel that anxiety, that kind of worry hanging in there. And then come around. I'm just gonna loop in this thing like the hat. I was gonna give him a little pork pie hat because I like pork pie hats. I think they're cool, and I think we should bring them back as clothing form. And also a lot of the scarecrows all wear hats, but they all have different types of hats. So pork pie hat is what he's gonna get. And it also helps that I think the one I've drawn here kind of looks like the hat that the cult leader kid from Children of the Corn wears. And the Children of the Corn kid is scary, so that works for me. Bring a little face up like this. And then we're gonna just have a lot of like cornstalk hair style here. In fact, I might draw the whole head in first like this, and then cornstalk leaf hair. And the reason I'm doing that instead of straw is because I think it is easier to draw. And I'm also I think it just kind of like looks, something about a cornstalk just looks kind of sad and Halloweeny to me. I don't know about anyone else, but for me it definitely like feels that way. Like it really represents that like dying off of the year in my head. So we'll just do some of that. And then overalls. Scarecrows definitely wear a lot of overalls, it looks like. Just bring these shoulders down. Down, 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 down. Arms back up like this. And just gloves or hands that just kind of fold around because they don't have any actual fingers in them. They're just full of hay. So the gloves need to look broken and battered and like they just don't quite work right. And I like that concept quite a bit. Might even have this thumb folded over entirely here. something like that. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I think I'm going to widen him a little like that. That's not too bad at all. That looks like a pretty good scarecrow to me. As far as rough sketches go, that looks pretty good. He looks like he's worried about something pretty fierce. So I'm just going to go ahead and start refining and inking. Like I said, I think I want to use actual roster ink brushes on this. I want to try something different. I want to be a little rough. So I think I'm going to try using this grungy inker brush. And we'll see. Oh, yeah, that'll look good. That'll look good. I'm going to bring this smoothing down. Bring this brush size down quite a bit. And let's see. That's still too big. Yeah, I like that. I like that it's grungy. I like that. This might be a little too chunky still. Let's try this rough inking brush. Oops. I think there. It's like, looks to me like I have messed this brush up. I'm going to shrink that down a little. That's too much. Go about halfway between the two. Right there. And we're just going to draw in some lines, some real grungy, inky lines. Whole different art style for me. I like my vector lines. I really do. I really think they're part of who I am as an artist a lot of the time. But I also just feel like if we're going with the Shel Silverstein kind of poem, I want to kind of have that Shel Silverstein kind of inspired art at the same time. So we'll see how all of it goes down, how all of it plays out. I'm going to come in and do these gloves next because they're on top and I don't have vector trimming when using roster brushes. So I can't use the normal draw over and through and then trim it automatically technique that I love to use. So we'll just have to make do with what we got. Like I said, I'm gonna have this thumb hanging kind of off, little backwards there. I'm actually going to erase some of that back off like that. All right, let's come over and do this other glove. This. Yeah, this isn't too bad. We'll see how I feel about this when it's done and see if this process survives. Because I might end up redrawing this with vector art just because that's how I am as an artist. So we can come in and maybe do a little of that cornstalk hair coming across like this, a little chaotic, little broken there. And then let's do the brim of the hat. Ooh. No wonder that was so squiggly. It was all the way down to 1 on the smoothness. All right, let's bring this. This is not working the way I want it to. That way I need to turn this brush, I think. Turn the canvas. All right, let's see how that came out. That's not too bad. I can come in here, just finish connecting these lines back up. So we'll do the same thing on the other side. Just bring in some of these leaves just to kind of really make it scriggly and scraggly like that. Now I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to draw on this button. You see the very tippy toppy of this button like this. And we're just going to try to angle it down just a smidge. There. Same over here with this button. I'm actually make that smaller, I think. Like that. Angle down a smidge. We go like that. That looks pretty good. And the brow. Cross there like so. And let's draw on this stitching real quick. I feel like I need to make the brush smaller for the stitching. And do something like this. Like this, like 3 little lines representing a single stitch across there. With kind of a thinner, smaller brush. Really showing the line work, the needle work of the person who put together Scarecrow here. Just 3 little quick stitches. Good evening. How's it going, Paramin? We are making some mental health advocacy monsters. Our first one is Scarecrow with Anxiety. That's going to be our theme for September or October. And I think I really like the idea that was brought up. A cool idea, I think, to bring up Tricera Bear brought up was putting together a poem and having each of the stickers having a line of the poem on the sticker. So if you collect them all, you get the whole poem, and then having that whole poem also on the print for the month. And I liked the idea of having each listening while I go to sleep. Well, have a good night, or have a good nap, I guess. You're going to take a nap before your stream at 11. Ooh, did you see Discord before you go to sleep? I have to close out of Discord when I stream just to save a little bit of extra processing power and bandwidth on my computer. So, anyway, I'm also trying something different this month. Normally I work entirely in vector, but for this month, I really liked the idea of having some gritty texture in the art. So I'm working in raster, which changes a little bit of my workflow and makes it a little bit different than what I normally do. Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure. Yeah, I also I like the idea of having a poem like Shel Silverstein's Magic, where each line is about a different character, and then it all gets tied together. And that'll be fun to write, I think. The other concepts that were brainstormed for September's theme or October's theme, I'm probably still going to end up doing stickers for, because they just were almost as popular. The vote was pretty close on the vote. But one of them was candy monsters in the same style as the Cookout Crusaders. And one was Spooky Bara. were the other two on the vote. And they each got one vote on Patreon, and Spooky Barras and Candy Monsters got 2 votes each on YouTube, and the Monster Advocates got 4 votes on YouTube. But that just means that I will do all 3 sticker sets, and if anyone wants the other ones, they'll just have to buy them separate. But my concept for the candy monsters would be like Smorlock's Revenge, and have them not just be necessarily monsters, but have them be specifically like monsters in the service of the Smorlock, like D&D-esque style monsters, but still classic monsters for Halloween, but with adventure theme to them also. That was the idea that I had, if that won. All right. I'm just going to draw in a little shirt collar here. All right. All right. This is looking pretty good. I like this character. The anxious Scarecrow. One set will be the weekly sticker at the market with the Patreon bonuses. Yes. So the Monster Advocates will be the sticker that you can get at the market, or are the Patreon exclusives. The only way you would be able to get the complete poem on the stickers would be to join the Patreon, so you get all of those stickers. You would get you won't get the final sticker, the bonus sticker, if you're not a member of the Patreon, to get the last line of the poem. And then the art print that is also Patreon exclusive would have the whole poem on it. And the concept of the art print picture that I want to do would be like a support group, with the Grim Reaper being the person facilitating the support group. And then the other ones would just be for sale. So anyone would be able to buy them. There. How's that look? Smorlock origin story, chocolate bar, marshmallows, etc. Oh, yes. That's... By your powers combined, I am the Smorlock. And then he'll have a little, like, I don't know, fuzzy box coming around here. I think I'll do that with other tools. Maybe just white and make this big. And we can just do like a white, oops. I want you to be on a different layer. I just made a layer for it for a reason. Coming around like this. Am I painting white there? I don't think I am. What's going on? Oh, don't know what I'm doing. Hang on. I thought I made a new layer. I guess I didn't. There we go. Now you can see that white. Get that gritty, grungy edge. Of course, here's the thing: is my cutting machine is going to vectorize the edges of this anyway. He was forged in fire. Okay, so you weren't here when I did the sketch, and I said all of my reference art on scarecrows are wearing different types of hats. Like they all have a hat, but they're all different hats. So I'm going to give him a pork pie hat. And then when I sketched it in, I was like, and pork pie hats just don't get enough representation. But this one also reminds me of the cult leader kid from Children of the Corn, and that's scary for me. So I'm keeping it. So yeah, that's exactly what I said. I did that semi-intentionally. It wasn't actually done intentionally, but once it was done, I liked it and wanted to keep it that way. And I can pull this up. There, like that. Okay, there we go. Isaac, yes. Yeah, it was like once I had that had to just be the way it went. That's the way I had to draw it. So I'm gonna set this as a reference. All right, I have never used the reference fill or the fill on here with pixel art and a grungy brush on roster. So we'll see how it all goes down. Although I definitely just did that on the wrong layer. Turn that back into reference there. And then also come in here. Oops. Bring that back down to where it was. So I can just close off some of this art that is still a little open. He wants you too, Malachi. Yes. The one actor who was in all of the sequels, even after he turned like 65. All right, and then I'm just gonna do a little harvesty kind of color scheme here with some like orangey yellows, maybe a little less saturated there, like that. Maybe a little more red in here, like a deep burnt red on these button eyes. We'll just fill in this space behind it. Something like that. It looks pretty good. And maybe, let's see. On our shirt, we'll do like a reddish brown. Like so. And then we'll just do a blue on these jeans. On these overalls. Like I said, all scarecrows wear overalls. The scarecrow walks at midnight. John Franklin. See, you would know. You're the horror dude. I don't watch horror movies. I get scared too easy to watch horror movies. And then I'm just gonna make the belt around his hat black. Oh, forgot to do his gloves. What do you think? What do you think of our anxious scarecrow? Do you like him? Let me know. It's almost 5:30, so the fact that I got this far is perfect timing, I think. I don't know. I'm torn on him a little bit. I like the general character design. I think I could do him better using vector brushes. I feel like the face could be a little more exaggerated, but also there will be more depth once I add some shadow and highlights to the character. But I love this concept. I think this is going to be a fun month to work on. That was as scary as I get. Escape from Horrorland terrified me and traumatized me forever. That's how scary I get. I told everyone on the stream the other day, I can do horror as long as it's not realistic. So like blood geysers, I'm okay with. Terrifying slasher monsters, I'm okay with. And I love me some murder Muppets. It's like realism in my horror works. Oh, my internet just dropped out on me again. So, it popped back up immediately. Something's going on with my network. Love the zombie peeking around the screen. Thank you. I do too. It is 5:30 and, that's the second time my internet has gone from pretty decent, excellent speed to just nothing for a couple of seconds. And I would hate for that to happen again and for me to get completely disconnected. I love this concept. I love the idea of having these poem characters. So Tricera Bear, thank you very much for coming up with this brilliant, genius idea. I think this is going to be a lot of fun for our monstrous support group. Paramin, thanks for coming in and hanging out. You aren't going to get much of a nap at this point. I'll talk to you later tonight. Everybody have a wonderful Wednesday evening. If you happen to be in Springfield, Missouri tomorrow, and you want to come and hang out with me, I will be at the C Street Market on Commercial Street from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. tomorrow afternoon, and I will have my last 50 Diesel Punk Pirates. So, if you would like to come and get one, or you can join the print club and have a print shipped to you. I highly recommend it. I do a unique print that features all of the sticker characters. You get all of the sticker characters also, and all of it is just for the cost that you would normally buy a print for if you came and bought a print from me. So think about that. I appreciate the support and of all the people who support me. Thank you so much. I will be back Friday afternoon, drawing by request. We're going to have a fun, chill Friday, just doing some drawing. That's why I have spent all day today pre-cutting Regency Romance Cyborgs, so I don't have to do it on Friday and can have everything in advance. I'm Matt Brotherton. Taco Viking Studios is where you can find me on just about everything. Thank you for coming. Have a wonderful Wednesday night. And never forget to always, always, always stay weird.